A cholera outbreak can now be added to the list of Haiti's woes as the population continues to grapple with multiple simultaneous crises in a vortex that has leadership crying out for international security assistance. The last cholera outbreak in Haiti occurred in 2010, stemming from a camp of UN peacekeepers whose poor sanitary practices resulted in the contamination of the upper reaches of the Artibonite River with Vibrio cholerae, the bacteria which causes the deadly disease. The waterborne disease spread quickly among the many who used that river for washing, bathing, and drinking, killing at least 10,000 people in the formerly cholera-free country, with as many as 800,000 cases reported at the time. Even after an expert panel concluded that the camp was the likeliest source of the outbreak, the United Nations spent 5 years denying that their peacekeepers were responsible, until finally obliquely admitting to the sequence of events while continuing to refuse legal responsibility. Survivors of the outbreak have reported poor health for years afterwards, with bouts of cramping and other gastrointestinal distress even after they had ostensibly recovered. Now, amidst political and economic turmoil compounded by severe weather in the forms of hurricanes and earthquakes, reeling from the assassination of their president last year and the aftermath of that destabilizing event, cholera is back, and the new outbreak is placing incredible strain on a nation some might say is already at the breaking point. International humanitarian group Médecins Sans Frontières reported the deadly infection had already claimed the lives of 8, with over 60 recorded cases, mostly in children. Last week, the same organization widely hailed as introducing cholera to Haiti, the United Nations, announced plans to mount an emergency response to the newest outbreak, intended to create awareness in the public of how families can administer home treatment that will help save lives and curb the spread of the disease. However, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres said via a spokesperson that the simultaneous crises currently affecting the country are hampering the ability of the government and its international partners to implement an effective response. Current anti-government protests, now in their 8th week, have rendered the country all but non-functional. Many businesses, schools, public transportation systems, and other important services have been shuttered as Haitian citizens take to the streets, demonstrating against crippling poverty, food insecurity, inflation, fuel shortages, and gang violence since August 22nd. Last month, tensions reached a new high when Prime Minister Ariel Henry announced that gas prices would almost double, or more than double in some cases, as he attempted to fund government operations by slashing fuel subsidies. The announcement came on the back of already skyrocketing fuel prices caused by global price increases and a local fuel shortage because gangs blocked the main fuel depot and key routes for the distribution of the precious resource. The situation has created what some might describe as a negative feedback loop, where each crisis makes the others worse. For example, Haiti's hospital system is woefully underprepared to deal with the burgeoning cholera outbreak, as it has already been brought to its knees by the ongoing fuel shortage. Some hospitals have been forced to cease operations completely or to only provide limited services because they must intensely ration the fuel supply to generators to provide the needed electricity to perform procedures and maintain life support systems. The country's supply lines are also interrupted. No containers have been unloaded at the seaport since September 12th due to blockages by criminal gangs. This, in turn, is driving more and more social unrest as meal warehouses and grocery stores lie empty. Analysts warn that Haiti's population, which was already nearing the brink since about March of this year, is likely set for further misery, as the 45% of Haitians facing hunger and starvation is likely to grow as the looting and lawlessness continues.